One. Hello again, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope all of you are doing well despite our coronavirus epidemic all over the globe. Well, as you know from my introduction in my previous videos, I'm doing these videos just to help you out. Those of you parents who have never homeschooled before, don't even know what homeschooling is, this is just to help you out. So today's lesson, we'll be doing skip counting. And for those of you who do not know what skip counting is, it's exactly that. It is like, say, counting by tens, counting by 20s, counting by hundreds, counting by twos, counting by fours, counting by fives, 25s, and so on. So I've just made up a little chart here, or a little note board. And it says here, skip counting. So today we'll be focusing on twos, tens, 25s, and fives. And the reason we're doing that in particular is so that we can move on to our lesson on money. So skip counting, when we're skip counting by twos, we say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, and so on. And you will recognize the pattern. For you younger learners, the pattern is that every number, when counting by twos, starting at 2, and that's very critical, starting at 2, counting by twos, our numbers end in a 2, a 4, a 6, an 8, or a 0. Counting by tens, and also 2. Another point to note, when skip counting by twos, we skip only one number. And then we say the next number. Skip counting by tens, we skip 9 digits and we say the 10th digit. Skip counting by tens, end in a 0. Every single number ends in a 0. When we're skip counting by 25s, we skip 24 and we say the 25th. Therefore, all these numbers will end in a 5 or a 0. When skip counting by fives, we skip 4, and all our numbers end in a 5 or a 0, as you will see. All right. So we're going to look at some money here. I hope you can see my little chart. So a penny is 1 cent, and it's written as 0.01. And we're talking about Canadian money. For those of you in the United States or in other countries, you can amend this as you see fit. A nickel is 5 cents, and it's written as 0.05. A dime is 0.10 or 10 cents. A quarter is 0.25 or 25 cents. A loonie, as we call it in Canada, is $1, and it's written as $1.00. A toonie is $2, and it's written as $2.00. All right. So we're going to look at some skip counting here. The first one we're going to look at is skip counting by fives. So as I said to you, when we're skip counting by fives, we skip 4. So here we go. See that little skipping line there? How our B is skipping over? So he skips 4 digits. He skips the 1, he skips the 2, the 3, and the 4, and he says 5. Then he skips 6, 7, 8, 9, and he says 10. Then he skips 11, 12, 13, and 14, and he says 15. So let's skip count and count by fives. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, and we can go on and on and on. 65, 70, 75, 80. And the trick to remembering this is to remember that when skip counting by fives, as I said earlier, each number either ends in a 5 or a 0. So it's 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0. Okay? 5 in the ones place here, a 0 in the ones place, 5 in the ones place again, a 0 in the ones place again, another 5 in the ones place, a 0 in the ones place, and so on. So if you're not following that pattern, then you know that you're not skipping uh, appropriately or correctly. So remember 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0. All right, so it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, and so on. So let's help our little ducky here skip count by tens. And remember this one. When we're skip counting by tens, we skip how many? 9. That's the trick. Skip counting by tens doesn't mean we skip 10. We only skip 9. All right, so skip all of these 9. The first number we say is 10. Skip again, 9 more. Next number is 20, and so on. So we get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, and so on. All right, so the trick to remember these is that every single ones place when skip counting by tens has a value of 0. Always. Doesn't matter how far you go when skip counting by tens, that ones place will always have a 0. All right, so now we're going to look at skip counting by twos. If you look up here on the board, when skip counting by twos, all our numbers, as I said earlier, will end in a 2, a 4, a 6, an 8, or a 0. All right, so let's look at these. The 2 will always be in the ones place, the 4 will always be in the ones place, the 6, the 8, the 0 will always be in the ones place. So here we go. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. What's the next number here? It's a 12. What's in the ones place? A 2. All right, for those of you who do not know place value, this is the tens place, this is the ones place. We have a 2 in the ones place here. This is the tens place again, the ones place, the tens place, the ones place, the tens place, the ones place. And we'll do another lesson on how place value works in another video, okay? So we got 2, 4, 6, 8. And how many are we skipping? We're skipping 1 number each time because we're only counting by twos. So we got it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, and we can go on and on and on and on. And the last one that we're going to look at is counting by 25s. And parents, you're going to have to review these with your children just to ensure that they study them. So place values once again. This is the ones place, this is the tens place. And we're going to go into the hundreds. So this third place here is the hundreds place. So remember, place value when doing it, we always start from right to left. We read when we're reading a story from left to right. But when looking at place value and numbering, we read those numbers from right to left to identify the place value. So let's count by 25. Just like counting by fives, when counting by 25s, it's the same pattern 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0. All those ones places end in a 5 or a 0. So let's count by 25. And how many are we going to skip? We're going to skip 24. So let's count 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, 175, 200, 225, 250, 275, 300, 325, 350, 375, 400, 425, 450, 475, 500. All right, great job, guys. All right, so that's skip counting for you. Now we're going to look at some money. So now that we know how to count by tens, by fives, and by 25s, we are going to look at some money here. So everything that I've written here, these little numbers in these little circles, they represent coins. So that's 10 for 10 cents, that's 5 for 5 cents, that's 25. That is 25 for 25 cents, and that's 1 for 1 cent. So when counting coins, and parents, what you want to do here, you want to actually grab some real coins. It will help to really allow your student to visualize what is happening. If you don't have real coins to use, you can just maybe cut out some cardboard and write the number 10 on them, as I've done here, 25, 5, and so on, and 1. So let's count. Remember, these are cents. 10, 20, 30, 40, and guess what? That's a number 1. So that's 1 cent. That's a penny. Remember, 0.01, 1 cent. All right. So what do we have? We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 41 cents. All right? Because 40 plus 1 makes 41. So this is equal to 41 cents. All right. So we're going to write 41 cents here. Whoops. There we go. 41 cents. Okay. And the next one, we're going to count 5, 10, 15, 20. And what is that? That beside there is a 1. So we have to add 1. So 20 plus 1 makes 21. When we're counting and we are counting by ones and we get to 20, one more from 20 is 21. So let's do that again. 5, 10, 15, 20. We're no longer counting by fives. Now we've jumped to counting by ones. So we have 20 and 1 makes 21. All right, so that's 21 cents. All right, and our next one, counting by 25s. 25, 50, 75. Okay, here's a little tricky one. That's a 5 cent. Remember when we're counting by fives, we go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25? We have to turn our brains on and realize that we're now at 25. So this is 25, 50, 75. So let's continue. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75. Just like this is 75. What comes next when we're counting by fives and we get to 75? Next one that comes, the next 5 is 80. So look at here. 25, 50, 75, and 5. 75, 80. What comes next? 5 more makes 85. Huh. And now we're adding 1 more. So that's 85 we've gotten to so far. And 1 makes, just count and add 1, makes 86. Let's do it again. 25, 50, 75, 80. Good. 85, 86. So that's 86 cents. All right. There we go. 86 cents. All right, great job. So, counting by fives enables us to do many things. As you know, it enables us to count things by 5 so that we don't have to count it by ones. It's easier. It also enables us to tell time. So here's a little book. I had gotten this in the Dollarama here in Canada. It's a Paw Patrol book, and it's a book that teaches time. And it actually has a nice little clock here. And it operates really well. It's a very handy tool in teaching time for my younger children. All right. So here, when the minute hand is pointing to the 12, we would say o'clock. And here, our hour hand is pointing to the 3. So what do you think it is? So we look at our hour hand first. When we're reading time, we always look at our hour hand first because we need to figure out what hour we're in first. So we're in the third hour of the day. So it is now 3 o'clock. What time is it? 3 o'clock, because that minute hand is pointing to the 12. And whenever it points to 12, it's o'clock. What time is it? Can you guess? Or can you read it? It's 4 o'clock. What time is it? It's 5 o'clock. What time is it? It's 6 o'clock. All right, so keep practicing that. We're now going to look at minutes past the hour, and we're going to be looking at chunks. We're going to be looking at half hours. So it's 6 o'clock, correct? Now we want to change it to 5 o'clock, first of all. And then we're going to change it to 5:30. Do you see these little markings there on the clock? Every single mark is a minute. So that's a dot there. That's 1 minute, 2, 3, 4, and 5 minutes. So all along the clock, we're counting in increments of 5. But these little dots here are the 1 minute increments. So we have here 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. If you notice, I've written 30 here. So whenever our minute hand moves to the 6, we would say 30. So what time is it, children? It is now 5:30. Do you see that? Isn't that cool? All right. What time is it now? Remember, always look at the hour of the day first. We're in the third hour. It's pointing to the third hour. And where is the minute hand pointing to? It's pointing to the 6, which is the 30. So what time is it? It is 3:30. Now what time is it? Let's see if you can get this one. It is 8:30. Excellent. All right, great job. All right, so parents, I want you to continue practicing with your student, practicing telling time on the hour and on the half hour. Master that. And then we're going to move on to telling time in 5-minute increments. All right, great job. Thank you once again. Our next lesson, we're going to be looking at some addition and subtraction facts, all right? All the way to the tens. So adding and subtracting numbers that add up to 10, all right? Or give us an answer of 10. All right, great job. Thank you once again. This was a pretty long lesson. Usually they're not this long, but thank you very much for watching just the same. And keep safe and stay inside, all right? It will get better. See you next time. Bye bye.